Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to a report by Lianhe Xiaobao, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has announced that the EU will propose a new law requiring European companies to diversify their critical supply chains and reduce their reliance on China. However, she emphasized that legislation would not be necessary if businesses proactively take measures to de-risk on their own. At a recent EU leaders summit in Brussels, participants agreed that the EU executive should engage with key trading partners regarding global macroeconomic imbalances and assess whether new trade measures are needed. Although China was not directly named in the summit's conclusions, it was clearly the primary focus. European Council President Antonio Costa highlighted that the daily trade deficit with China, reaching up to 1 billion euros, is unsustainable. The move aligns with broader efforts by Western allies. Recently, the G7 officially established the Partnership for Critical Minerals Resilience and Production to counter supply chain risks. In response, China urged the G7 to respect market economy principles and international trade rules instead of forming exclusive blocs. According to a report by the Epoch Times, a proposed $500 million submarine fiber optic cable project between China Mobile and Chile has been shelved following direct intervention by the United States government. The project aimed to establish the first subsea cable link directly connecting South America and Asia, running from Valparaiso to Hong Kong. In February 2026, the U.S. Department of State took the extraordinary step of revoking the diplomatic visas of Chile's then Minister of Transportation and Telecommunications, Juan Carlos Muñoz, along with two other government officials. The U.S. government cited concerns that their actions undermined critical telecommunications infrastructure and threatened regional security in the Western Hemisphere. Although Chile initially approved China Mobile's bid in January 2026, the decision was quickly rescinded following discussions at the U.S. Embassy. Since Chile's new president, José Antonio Cast, assumed office in March 2026 with a policy of deepening relations with Washington, U.S. officials have declared the China Mobile project ended. Chile will instead rely on alternative routes, including Google's Humboldt cable. In this segment, NTD News reports on the growing demand for drone technology in Asia. As Ukrainian drone makers increasingly target Asian markets, China's neighbors, including Taiwan and Japan, are eager to learn from Ukraine's battlefield experience to deter potential conflicts. In response to regional threats, Taiwan has approved a new $6.7 billion domestic drone defense plan to bolster its military capabilities. Additionally, Australia is donating drones to the Philippines to strengthen its maritime defense in the region. The broadcast also covers other significant global events, including a historic shift in Cuba, where the communist government is introducing free market economic reforms amid U.S. sanctions and back-channel diplomacy. Furthermore, the scheduled peace talks between the United States and Iran in Switzerland have been postponed, with no new date announced. Other highlights include France dismantling secret Chinese police outposts and the rising demand for solar power driven by the artificial intelligence data center boom. According to UPI, North Korea marked the second anniversary of its comprehensive strategic partnership treaty with Russia on Friday, hailing the agreement as an essential legal weapon to achieve global strategic stability. State media emphasized that the alliance provides a reliable guarantee for a new international order and vowed to further strengthen bilateral ties across various sectors, including defense, technology, and economic cooperation. The treaty, signed in June 2024 by North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and Russian President Vladimir Putin, contains a mutual defense clause requiring both nations to provide military assistance if either is attacked. North Korea has already dispatched troops and weaponry to support Russia's ongoing military campaign in Ukraine. In a separate statement, Kim Yo-jong, the influential sister of Kim Jong-un, strongly condemned a recent Group of Seven declaration calling for North Korea's denuclearization. She asserted that the nation's nuclear-armed status is enshrined in its constitution and is entirely irreversible, warning that challenging this reality would lead to disastrous consequences. Meanwhile, South Korea's Unification Ministry responded by reaffirming its commitment to a phased, realistic path toward a nuclear-free Korean peninsula. According to UPI, China has expressed strong opposition to recent extended deterrence talks held by the United States with South Korea and Japan, warning that such nuclear cooperation increases the risks of nuclear proliferation and regional conflict. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Lin Jian stated that Beijing is deeply concerned by these developments, characterizing extended deterrence as a relic of the Cold War used for geopolitical gains. The criticism comes following the Japan-US extended deterrence dialogue in Tokyo and the US-South Korea Nuclear Consultative Group meeting in Seoul. Lin directed his harshest criticism at Japan, accusing Tokyo of advocating for a nuclear-free world while simultaneously increasing its reliance on the US nuclear umbrella. He also criticized Japanese officials for making dangerous remarks regarding the potential acquisition of nuclear weapons. Additionally, Lin urged the United States to abandon its Cold War mentality, halt its provocative policies, and abolish nuclear sharing and extended deterrence agreements to maintain global strategic stability. He advised South Korea to act with caution to contribute to regional peace. During the same briefing, Lin criticized G7 plans to reduce dependence on China for critical minerals. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.